Jake, today we have a special show. We're doing a WWE Wrestlemania XL rundown.
Scott, I don't know. That seems like a lot. Can we just do a regular size one, something a little smaller?
No. XL doesn't have to do with the size of it.
What are you talking about? It means extra large.
Not for WrestleMania. Those are Roman numerals.
No, his name is Roman Reigns. God, you're so fucking stupid.
No, the numbers are back in WrestleMania, and X and L are Roman numerals. You put them together, it's 40.
Oh, I get it. So it's a 40-minute rundown, a sequel to The Rock in the Rundown, but it's 40 minutes.
WrestleMania Rundown, hopefully with a different co-host, today on Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hey, Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Hello to everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another journey through the fandom with PWP. Thanks to everybody listening out there in the pod feed, and a special thank you to those joining us live for the super exclusive patron-only live stream. If you would like to get in on the live stream action, well, you got to become a patron over at patreon.com/PWPalskis. It is, it's a special time of year here for all the wrestle nerds. Listen, we moved away from doing reviews and previews, but sometimes the excitement of WrestleMania and the season is just too much to ignore, right?
Yeah, I agree. It is too much. 2 nights.
Too much. XL.
Too much. But I think they're handling it well in what they're going to do. And yeah, there's so much. We have a megastar and The Rock returning, Cody getting a second title shot. There's so much going on. That's like, we can't talk about all the wrestlers having babies this week.
Plus, enough with the babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get it. Procreation.
I'm excited for the first WWE Premium Live event, though, with the babies fighting each other, called Proving Grounds.
Proving Grounds?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it?
They got to prove.
All right. Okay.
Loading diapers and taking names.
There it is. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, yes. So we're going to do a whole WrestleMania rundown today, checking out the card. But we got a lot of business. Before we get to that, first and foremost, we must acknowledge current PWP World Champion Andrea Beeler, a.k.a. Pollenhate, the record-setting, both 6-time PWP champ, will
record smashing.
Yeah, will defend that title later on today in this very live stream. Boom, there it is. Very excited.
But not right now. That's a tease.
Yeah. We also got a couple hotline calls to take a little bit later. But before we get into all of that, I just want to let everybody know we're doing this Monday, day after Easter. Hope everybody had a fantastic Easter. Some people might still be off because I discovered that
they're drunk.
Well, I discovered that there's that too, the drunkenness. But their Easter Monday is a thing for some, like school, schools still give off because it falls on a Sunday. They go, oh, you get the next day. I don't remember having that.
What
as a
is
kid.
This WrestleMania influence of 2 nights? Now we got 2-night Easter.
2 nights of Easter. Ever since Bad Bunny.
It's too many crackers and wine. I don't like it. That bunny's tired.
We could have just done an all things bunny and wrestling episode, and we would have had at least 2 things to talk about.
Yeah,
a minimum of 2.
I don't really want to talk about either.
So we are recording this Monday. We usually do 2 episodes a day. Pull back the curtain a little bit when we record, but we're not doing that today because next Monday, April, 9th? How does time work? What the dates? 7?
What the dates?
Nope. That would be the 8th. Monday, April 8th, we are going to be live once again on Monday. We never decided on the time. We probably should have done this. We should have been professionals. What time, Scott Narver?
During the day.
Okay, 2:30, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, somewhere in that range.
Sure, because we're doing it on a Monday,
Right?
So, I mean, to the same time as now.
Okay, so about
your time is up.
Oh well,
our time is
that's
now.
actually a lot earlier. That's more like 12:31. Well, time to be determined. We are going to go live the day after Mania for a special Mania recap show that we are going to be opening up the live stream to everybody. Live stream is going to be public. It'll be a special one-off. We're going to be lifting the barrier of the Patreon for next week's post-Mania show. We thought it's post-Mania. A lot of fun stuff is likely to happen. We're all likely to have a lot of hot takes and a lot of opinions. So we're going to be doing that. So
we're going to be canceling Peacock left and right, or renewing Peacock.
Whatever happened? What was his name? Isaiah? Remember our listener Isaiah? We haven't heard from him in a while. Isaiah, are you out there? Do you still have Peacock? Did you cancel? Remember he used to cancel?
We had some other people in the lead up to this Mania on our Discord threatening to end all things.
All right. Well, I just want to
sever all ties.
I wanted to throw that out there and tease that right at the top. So yes, next Monday, April 8th, we're gonna be live behind no paywall whatsoever, just live public on the YouTube
for 1 week only.
We will be posting the links to that in the Discord, so make sure you're getting up in our Discord, and we'll post on the socials, and it'll still be posted to Patreon. It will just be a free Patreon post that will be open.
And if you hang out in the live chat for too long, after we're so nice about it for 1 week, you'll be charged if you're just hanging out there for far too long.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say that we will beat the shit out of.
Boom!
Oh my God! It's
running.
Sushi pants with it running. I thought you were going to say that we'll start throwing them up against buses and stuff, and we'll beat the shit out of them, and then we'll be like, you think just because the YouTube stream is over that I care, and then we'll stomp them and wipe blood on a belt or something. Yeah. All right. Well, there's all the business. Scott and Arver, just a few days away from WrestleMania XL. Have you been watching the product?
Not regularly, no. And I really want to. And from what I've seen, it's great. And I sit through segments that I normally wouldn't sit through, which might be detrimental because I'm missing out on the major things.
Right.
But I turned on this past week's Raw and was going, I'm enjoying. I didn't fast forward a Ricochet match, mostly due to the fact of the production has changed so drastically. Like the camera angles are different. They're shooting things differently. I don't see the crash, shaky thing.
It's fantastic.
It's so much more interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm watching every segment.
There is, they've been doing a lot more long takes, so to speak. I know that there's no takes, but you get what I'm trying to get at. Uncut.
It's all one take.
It's all one take. But they're doing a lot more long camera, lingering on a specific camera. I will say there was one spot in a match last week that got a lot of heat online. I think it was Dakota Kai and God, if I remember who she was fighting, but maybe Naomi. I don't know. And it was they lingered on it for too long because it is still a big magic trick at the end of the day. It's still an illusion.
It's still in HD.
And there was a couple of spots where it was cool because they did a circle around the ring, and then they got up on the apron when they were both in the corner on the turnbuckle. But then Dakota Kai is clearly covering her face because the camera's a foot in front of her and just talking to her opponent, just doing this. Oh, make sure you jump down and give me the clothesline and duck under for the, and I was just all right, let's cut at this point. So it's always a matter of you have a good thing, don't push it, WWE. You got a good thing going. What is sushi? I'm sorry, not to distract.
It's ultimately, it's going to expose the people if they can't do it, right? They gotta, it's okay, we're shooting it this way, go look back.
Right.
You can't do this anymore. That's not how we're shooting it.
Right. I'm sorry to interrupt. I got to know, what is Sushi Pants looking at? What is so interesting on the ceiling? Because it looks like...
So where's Sushi Pants? This is a closet right here.
Okay. Because it looks like she is just staring at the ceiling like there's a portal. You ever play the game Portal? That if she jumped in it, she'll come out another direction.
Well, she could with the other closet. She hasn't figured that out yet.
Uh-oh.
because there's a door on the other side of it. It's very strange.
Two entrances.
No, it's when you're on the other side of it. It's like a hall closet.
Oh, I get it. Yep.
But in the room,
right.
It's just the closet right there. So there's no walk-in. There's just two sides of. One's a sliding door. One's a door you can turn a handle and open it.
Perfect.
It's not great. So in this closet, there's shelves to it. And Sora Sushi Pants loves to get in any sort of pantry or any linen closet, especially when it's, there's linens or towels. She loves to lay on it. She starts purring immediately, and it's her little nook, and she loves it.
Just wants to get into a little nook and cranny. Okay, thank you. Now
so I put towels up on
the
highest shelf, and I'm like, she can't get up there. She's up there.
Like, yeah.
So she's eyeing it. And she's like, maybe I want to go up there.
Hold my beer. Okay, thanks for that explanation, because I was thoroughly distracted. She's just too goddamn cute. All right, anyways, so I have been watching the product. I haven't been lasered in on all of the specific stories. Some of them I might walk away from or kind of have to be paying attention to. But I'm invested in the main big story. I'm invested in the Bloodline and Cody and Seth, and I love how everything is interwoven. I'm really enjoying that. That's, I think, is what's making this feel kind of special, is you have all of these different factors and factions, and just because there's a match between these two, it doesn't mean that these people aren't involved. Like, we've got, obviously, the big tag match that has implications for the undisputed, the asterisk undisputed Universal Championship. But it also ties into Seth, which ties into Drew, which ties into Punk. And there's all these other layers, which then, of course, ties into Judgment Day because of the briefcase at hand. It feel like there's all these moving pieces, but they're all part of one story versus like these two people are feuding over here, and then unrelated these two people, and then unrelated these two people. I like that there's a little bit of you and I have talked about in the past. We like it when it feels like this is all one cast of characters. This is all one universe. They're all in the same locker room.
I feel like there's a fair amount of crossover of storylines with some of these other matches.
Yeah.
On the WrestleMania card.
Yeah. I agree.
So it's not just the main Bloodline.
Oh no, I know.
You're talking.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying like that's just an example of like what I'm enjoying about the product right now.
Yeah.
Is there something that you're most looking forward to?
Of this rundown, I'm looking here. I think what I'm most looking forward to, with the exception of, as you said before, with the magic tricks, with the exception of trying to ignore all the Becky Lynch calling John Cena spots at that volume and obviousness. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to quite a bit.
Yeah. I think that one has like potential for one of those new tentpole women's Mania matches, where I feel like we've gotten so many more great Mania matches from the women's division in the past few years. But I feel like this one might be more memorable than some of the ones that were like, that's a really good match, but I only remember the outcome or that kind of thing.
Or someone whipping someone with someone's hair.
Honestly, that was the first thing that came to mind.
And them crying.
First thing that came to mind was Sasha Bianca, yeah.
So yeah, that's one for me. I mean, we can go. Let's go through it, right?
Let's go through it.
So I think you asked me before if I had 11 matches. I think I have 12 actually.
Oh, okay.
So let's do non-title matches first. And there's only 2 matches that are presumably that are at the time of this recording that are set,
right,
or presumably set. Of day one or night one of Mania, we're going to have The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. And the implications are The Rock's only going to kind of wrestle 1.5 nights, while the other guys have to wrestle 2 nights. But he gets paid way more than all of them combined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the implications, if I'm not mistaken.
It's weird they didn't have a contract signing for this one.
So if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, when they beat Seth Rollins, then it's pandemonium. It's bloodline rules for the main event for Cody and Roman.
Yep.
And if the good guys win, which they won't, that doesn't happen. Come on.
Right. And then
that's not going to happen.
And then the bloodline is banned from ringside if that happens for night 2.
They're going to have to get friendly with a bunch of other factions or tag teams that exist.
There's only
but they're all going to be broken from a ladder match. It's going to happen.
There's only 17 factions in the company right now. There's not a lot happening.
Yeah, they should really do some faction picking from AEW. So I think this is great in the utilization of 2 nights.
Right.
It's hard to have any disbelief and have any sense of, the good guys might win this match.
Right.
I think it's going to be really fun and really entertaining and really enjoyable. It's going to be brutal to watch 2 nights of Roman Reigns entrances. That I'm not looking forward to at all.
That's what night 1 is. Night 1 is Roman walking to the ring. Who do you think?
Never did I think Randy Orton would have not the longest match or not the longest entrance.
Or Taker.
It's Triple H that is the worst offender of WrestleMania entrances.
Right, of course. With production.
Overall. But Roman Reigns is fucking too much.
Because nothing happens. It doesn't change. It doesn't evolve.
He doesn't turn to people and do a little fist pump. He doesn't say high fives. It's just this fucking piano that you start listening to after a while and you go, this is the song?
I think, listen, while we're on the subject, I still think that his augmented reality, which still just feels like a holdover from the Shield at this point, like it doesn't match the gimmick. I don't understand this big, giant, 40-foot tall orgasming fucking Roman Reigns.
Full release.
Yeah. It's terrible. I like Roman. I love the bloodline story. I think he's in a great spot. They've created a great character. He does great with it. This is the one thing about it that I go, why do we still have this stupid thing of him just all over the crowd? It doesn't match anything.
Yeah, it doesn't do the one finger up. There's
nothing tribal about it. He's the tribal chief. It has nothing to do
even a slow one of these, you know.
No stroking. He doesn't stroke it. He does just splurge on everything.
It's a hands-free release, which is good for you.
I mean,
that's a dream.
Tantric. But yeah, that's awful. They need. I'm hoping that maybe we nix that. Maybe Mania they come up with something new, and it's the beginning of something new for him.
Well, they have 2 nights to do.
Oh, goddamn. Okay, never mind.
2 different.
Oh, night 1 will be the old one, and then night 2 will be the new one.
Right. So Rock and Reigns, Rhodes and Rollins, the R's are heavy. They're all there. Outcome. What do you think happens?
Oh yeah, I think that. I think Seth takes the loss. Seth is the one who gets pinned to protect Cody from it, and it's because of bloodline shenanigans. And I think Rock maybe is the one who pins Seth. That way, Rock gets a pin at Mania. It's not against Cody, though. So if we want to revisit Rock versus Cody at some point in the future, that's still protected.
Rock has also talked online about he will take Rollins' championship. He will just remove it and be done with it.
Yeah.
So I think I agree in that Rock also pins Rollins.
Yeah. Alice Rader in the chat.
And also Rollins is messed up.
Right. To create better drama and story for his fight in the next night.
For Drew, and to make Drew more pissed off because he was talking about, I told you don't take this match because I want you at 100%, so you don't take away from my moment.
I want to acknowledge Alice Rader in the chat. It says Mama Rhodes will be involved ringside somehow. Absolutely, 100%. You can't, with all this setup, you can't have Mama Rhodes not there.
She'll stand there, but have you seen her?
No.
She's not gonna
throw hands.
She's not going to be Wayne Knight's mom.
But I mean, I don't think that's what
hopping over rails.
I think that's what she means. She just means like that she'll be part of the story. She'll be presented with a bloody belt or something, and then she'll smack.
I think they'll be picking on her.
Let's see.
And she's like, "Look, I'm only here for one night. My son boffed it last year, so I'm not going to that one. I wanted to see the Rock."
I like him in his sparkly uniform. Every mother is like an old Jewish woman from Long Island to me, so I just assume that's what. I like it when he had stars on his face. I thought that was so cute. She's going to slap Sokoa. Alice Rader says she's going to slap Sokoa. Oh, man, that would be something. And then Sokoa just murders her.
Sokoa has to. He's not great with the cues still. He's still not smooth.
Right.
So he'll probably be standing there and she's like, "You got to get closer to me." And then he'll be like, "Oh, okay." And just walk forward robotically. And then she slaps him. And then everyone will go, "No, it didn't work." Next little bit.
Let's see. Who is this? Oh.
You're getting
I'm trying to find her. I'm trying to find a photo of his mom.
It's not Stacy's mom.
Sandra Reynolds?
She's got it going on.
Is that her name? I don't know. She seems like she should fuck some shit up.
She's a tiny lady,
She's
though.
a tiny little lady.
It's a stadium.
Yeah.
If it was an arena, she would have better reach.
Mickey Bell says in the chat, I think Cody and Seth get the upper hand on the go home Raw tonight after the Cody beatdown last week, and Rock and Roman win night one. Right. So that way they're handing the ball back and forth after what happened last week on television. But yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. I think that it's Bloodline rules on night 2 for sure, because that's the better insurmountable odds for Cody to overcome if that is indeed what they're doing.
And then we have Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso. In a Cody going backstage and going, "You better fucking appreciate this. I started a company over not getting one of these fucking matches."
For only the third time in WWE history, I do like that. I don't know if you've caught this, but they've been saying this on commentary. They've been saying for only the third time, 2 real brothers face each other one-on-one at WrestleMania.
What?
They've been
2 real brothers?
They've been saying that. I think it's because people are going to be like, "That's not true. Kane and Undertaker fought on Mania." Well, I don't know
why they have to constantly undo that.
I don't know why.
You spent fucking 20 years trying to hammer in when storyline brothers are brothers. It's like, just keep it.
I think it's because
Edge and Christian, they're brothers.
This is the rule, I think. The rule for them, I'm not saying it's a good rule, but it's what I've noticed, I think, is whatever sounds the best to sell the stakes of whatever's happening right now, that's the most important thing. So screw history, screw everything. It's better for them to say for only the third time than for maybe the 6th or 7th time. Like it doesn't seem as exciting. So it's a sales pitch.
Owen Hart versus Bret Hart.
So Owen Hart versus Bret Hart, and then see if you can guess the other 2.
Wait, you're saying this is the third time?
Yes.
So wouldn't it just be other time?
The other 2 people I meant. Yes, the other 2 competitors.
Jeff and Matt Hardy.
Yeah. So those are the only 2 other times that real brothers have faced.
Yeah, and Jeff and Matt was a clunker.
Yes. That was when Jeff was on his way out, right? Right before Jeff left? Around the Punk Punk era, maybe? I'm No? Okay.
Jeff came and went a lot.
Sure. Right. I guess
it's hard to keep track.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the time that I was watching because he left when I wasn't watching. There's only one time he left in my history. I'm like WWE. If it's not important to me right now, then I just, it's irrelevant.
But it's pretty hard because Bret and Owen, Bret was on record talking about how difficult it was to put that match together. And it was only they had the benefit of back in the day, you had all the house shows. Yep. And it wasn't working for months. And they were close to scrapping it. And only in the final weeks did they figure out the formula to it to make it work and to get the crowd not feeling like Bret is being a bully.
Right.
And the Hardys one didn't work. I think they were also missing the element to make it work because the crowd was like, "I don't like this. Right. I don't want to see them fight." They might have it, these 2.
I think what's interesting about this is the placement. If it's night one before, it will be, obviously. They're not going to put this on after Rock and fucking Roman. But like, if it happens beforehand, we can assume this is part.
But it could happen night 2.
Yes. Yeah. But so let me finish. If it happens night 1,
okay.
The story that they're trying to tell of we need to all babyfaces need to be a unified front and have all of each other's backs at all time against all things bloodline. That's the story that Seth has championed, right? As like, we all need to be together. Then Cody and Seth should be there for that match in case bloodline gets involved. But you don't want to have Cody and Seth show up early in the night when you want the first time we see them to be they're coming out, they're here at Mania. It kind of diminishes their entrance, so to speak, I feel. So I could see them being like, this is just going to be a straight match, or Solo gets involved and it's just dirty. And then it's sort of like, it's more bloodline winning. And I don't know that it needs that. I feel like Jay needs this as a singles competitor, but I don't know what this match does for anybody other than, yeah, we like Jey Uso, we boo Jimmy, let's watch them fight at Mania. Like, this match, I'm not excited for it, but I just don't know how it plays into what we were talking about, the interconnectivity of this universe that they've got right now. Now, if it's night 2,
this to me is a match of,
or I was gonna say, if it's night 2 and they've been beaten, meaning Seth and Cody, then they can come out early or whatever, because they're both because Seth's gonna have a match anyway, and they can try to defend and help Jay. But at that point, who cares? What does it matter if Jay beats Jimmy on night 2 after The Rock and Roman have already beat Cody? It almost doesn't matter at that point, it feels, if it is this us versus them kind of story.
Well, but they're brothers.
They're brothers.
It's
Yeah, sure.
separating from one another.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I mean, I think there's still implications. As far as the match goes and what's on paper, I kind of checked out for both of them. I don't really give a shit.
Right.
But I'm a blank canvas when it comes to this. So whatever happens. I don't, to me, there is no clear cut winner. I can see it going either way.
Do you want to know what I think?
We want to elevate Jimmy with a cheating win. Right. We want to elevate Jay with a clean win.
Give
whatever.
Sikoa set up another match with Sikoa versus Jay or something like that. But it's going to be interesting to see, because the one thing that I haven't noticed yet is you've got Jimmy still as part of the bloodline as a heel. You've got Jay as a babyface. They've been, wrestling as a twin tag team for their entire careers. They have the exact same moveset, and they have not deterred from that as singles competitors. And Jimmy still.
You need a turning.
Yeah. What did I say?
Yeah, well, they haven't deterred, so they need deterred.
Yes, they need deterred. No, they need to deterred. Right now, they're turding. That's the problem. They need to deter from that. Oh. I want to see Jimmy wrestle like a heel, not a babyface, because he's still wrestling like a.
What if it was a return to form?
That's yeah, sure. I don't know. I have nothing for that. I'm gonna sip coffee out of my whale mug and pretend that we abandoned that bit. Look at that. It's fantastic. I love it.
Well, I don't know. They don't have the same moveset. Jay says yeet when needing the crowd to do anything.
At all times.
The next non-title match we have is LA Knight versus AJ Styles. This one has a lot of potential to me.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen LA Knight for the most part in a while. We haven't seen AJ Styles do anything significant in a while. Yeah. He's been out. I think this could be the return to form of, hey, don't sleep on this guy. Right. He's really, really good, remember? Right. And can pull out classics with anybody. And his WrestleMania features haven't been
memorable
for the
Stan's Taker.
For the most part, memorable. I mean, he had the match. He retired Undertaker by being buried alive.
And he took his career as he was being buried. He was like, "Wait, give me the career!" And then he took Undertaker's career, and then everything got buried.
He fought Jericho. He fought Shane.
Okay, it sounded for a moment like you just said, like it almost like you hiccuped in your voice and you said Jericho instead of Jericho. He fought Jericho, and I thought, oh, there's a tag team combo name. How come we haven't seen that portmanteau? JR and Jericho. Jericho.
Jericho's too lazy.
That's the problem.
Won't do it.
That's the problem.
JR's always making the towns. So It's and LA Knight is still in need of a couple of classics.
Yeah, for sure.
To really elevate himself up to the next level. And I feel he's fully capable of it. But these guys, as far as I know, have not really ever done anything together.
Yeah,
so it's that tricky. It's the opposite of what we were talking about before with the eras of you could do house show runs forever, figure out how the match works, and then fucking present a classic on TV. It's, hey, good luck out there.
Right.
You talked it over and you don't know what's really going to work in front of a crowd, and it's a stadium. So you're always going to go like, are they fucking doing anything? I can't hear them. There's no sound.
Yeah, I feel like,
I guess we'll just keep going.
I kind of feel, I'm worried that this is just going to be a feel good Mania thing where it's probably, maybe it's not very long of a match. And it's very much just, let's give LA Knight a win at Mania. And I don't know, like this has the potential to be fucking an all-time great just because of how good they are and how they've taken this kind of who cares thrown together feud and kind of made me care by just being so entertaining at all times with one another. But I'm worried about it. I'm worried about this one. I want it to be
not
good.
me, because AJ Styles is involved.
Okay. Yeah. And he puts on
matches. It's his not memorable matches are still fucking great and entertaining to watch.
In the moment, yep.
And if you go back, you go, oh, this is really good. But it's not AJ's best.
Right.
But LA Knight's got something to prove. I think both those guys really have something they're trying to get out there and make it really solid. Right. So I think this could be a show stealer.
Yeah.
For one of the nights, that this will be one of the matches that everybody talks about, much like last year where I had hoped that Gunther was in a singles match and wasn't going to be in a triple threat, but those three guys went, no, we got this.
Right.
And they made fucking magic.
I think that's my show stealer personally, which is maybe just nobody's surprise is
we're not there yet.
I know, but I just wanted to connect that tissue.
We're not there yet. Save your tissues for your issues. So next up in non-title matches, we have the match that everybody's been waiting for. Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill versus Damage Control, which consists of Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. So remember the 6-woman tag match last year? We're doing it again.
Also,
Damage Control is
women's tag
running manias with 6-woman tags.
And women's tag team titles, not important, not being defended. No, irrelevant.
I mean, they have been for.
I mean, I think this is actually another good way because I'm excited for Cargill, but I'm still not sold on her wrestling ability. I still feel. Even at Rumble, Rumble was great. It made her look good, but it was also very safe. And and I think this is another example of Jade. We can show off what Jade is good at without her having to carry this weight because she's in there with, Bianca Belair. Unfortunately, she's also in there with Naomi, which is kind of a bummer. But maybe
but she's on her side.
And maybe it'll make her look better.
So I think that what they've done is they have. Initially, like when Jade was signed and on our Discord, there was a lot of conversation about like, yeah, put her out there. Right. She's great. She's ready to go. She's going to show everybody up. And I was always hesitant saying like, no,
same.
I think she's very good at, you give her the TV matches. I'm not talking pay-per-view matches. I'm talking the TV matches of you go out there, you do 6 things. Ultimately, she does 4 of them really well. 2 of them should have been scrapped.
Right.
And then you look like a star, you walk away, you're fine. She's very good at that.
Right.
And I think ultimately WWE will be like, no, don't do 6, do 4. You're fine.
Right.
And it's been months and months now that they've not had her on television, or they showcase her and then she's not wrestling. She's probably had the proper amount of time now to work
some stuff
out, the majority of stuff that she's going to be ready for the point they're going to put her on television.
Right.
I know Mania, there's a lot at stake. You got a bunch of ladies overall. There's probably going to be some big spots towards the end or something weird, but hopefully it is, hey, you just sit back. You're the powerhouse.
Right.
You just wait, you wait. Do a big power move. Everyone goes, whoa, look at you. You're good.
Right.
That again, they're protecting this investment and knowing this isn't about all the things you can do. It's about showing a few things, but making them look spectacular.
Right.
So I think they're going to be really smart with her, and she will be impressive again, because they're going to set her up to be.
And she's in there with like Kairi Sane, who will just make her look like even more of a monster. Mickey Bell says in the chat, what's with the Naomi hate? Have you not been paying attention, Mickey? Because I don't hate Naomi.
Whoa, what's with the Mickey hate?
I love Naomi as a person. She seems like a delight. I want the best for her. I think her and her husband are adorable. And I think that she needs to pretend like she's in a fight at least once on TV, because I don't buy her.
Do you mean a dance-off?
Yeah, I don't buy any, all of her offense at this point is just a dance. There's no impact. There's no intensity. There's no urge to win. She's having fun, and I'm happy for her, but I don't care about watching her wrestle anymore. And it's kind of a bummer, because I want to, because I think she's one of those people who there's just because you're a great athlete doesn't mean you're a great wrestler. It's why some people are shitty athletes, but pretty good wrestlers. CM Punk, for example. Shitty athlete, not an athletic guy.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
What did it say? Jake the Snake Roberts, 100%. I think it's the other way around, where it's like
Jericho.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Well, at one point,
he's not a good athlete.
At one point, yeah.
He's athletic.
Yes. But
so those are our non-title matches. We got 4.
All right, and they still might add 1 or 2, depending on how many. 6 and 6. If you said there's 12, maybe not. Let's not.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna have plenty of packages of, hey, we were in Philadelphia, and look, there were gross things on the street, and the wrestlers interacted with those gross things. Hey, look at that! We're great. They went to the towns and they did all this. So we're gonna get those.
To the Rockies. Oh, where Muhammad Ali was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and Philadelphia is known for their own boxing legend, fictional character Rocky Balboa, and then they show the Rocky statue.
Well, that's already been addressed. That was the thing. You know that, right? There was a story there for a while that
I don't remember.
They were reaching out to Sylvester Stallone, try and get him involved in WrestleMania.
Right. Yes. I think we mentioned that briefly.
So that's probably not going to happen. I hope it does. That'd be great. Yeah. I can't imagine you get Sylvester Stallone ringside or something like that, but maybe you get a video of Cody training and doing something with Sly or voiceover or something like that. That'd be cool. But you having a Rock and a Rocky out there, then everything is eclipsed. And
people get really confused though. They go, Rocky sucks. Wait, no, not him.
Die,
no,
Rocky,
the other
die.
guy.
But
no,
not that Rocky.
Yes.
The other Rocky. The one is my idea. Your show sucks. Young Rock sucks.
Oh, that it just evolves into film and television critic.
Yeah. Black Adam was all right. Didn't get a fair shake. So we'll get that, and we'll get some antics in ring. I'm sure this is going to be weird. This is the first WrestleMania with 0 McMahons.
Wow. The McMahonless Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
So we've seen formulaic stuff of the past. Thankfully, they haven't done this in the past couple of years, to my memory, where, hey, there's a new guy talking with a legend, and the legend is doing this. Oh, well, that's not the only legend here, right? Catchphrase, signature thing, dancing, $1 Million Man laughs at the end.
Right.
Yep. Oh, look, 12 of them all had to dress up.
And then for no reason whatsoever, the camera pans over to Ron Simmons, who goes, damn. But it's like, there was nothing to damn about. What are you upset about, Ron? Relax.
So I'm hoping that if we want to have moments that are similar to this, that they're structured differently, or they actually do something significant. So that we still can't have some moments of old. Get Hogan out there in some way.
Well, I was going to say, what we also don't have this year? A host. For the past few years, we've been doing these people hosting Mania. There's no host for this Mania, which I think is fantastic, to be honest with you. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. They've created some moments, but when you have all of these things happening, I think this one's a little bit more exciting than some other ones in recent years. And I think because of that, you don't need somebody.
The host is stupid anyway.
Yeah.
I've never been into the host. I don't like the host. The host was a way of getting The Rock on the show
And honestly,
long ago.
I was gonna say The Rock,
and then
was
they kept going.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
And then it became.
But now there's controversy because the last host fucking crippled a McMahon. So.
Alrighty. Well, what else we got?
It's unnecessary, but yeah, I'm sure we'll get some other segments of things. But now on to our Brazilian Championship matches. So here we go. In what you described as LA Knight and AJ Styles, I think this one has it written all over it.
Yeah.
Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth versus The New Day versus New Catch Republic versus hashtag DIY versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory in a 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships.
I think this is going to be a blast. I liked when Money in the Bank was at WrestleMania. My concern with this is that there's too many.
I know
people.
You did.
I like it when there's 6 guys out there and one ladder, but this is, I think 12 people all pretending to slow climb and doing the crocodile eyes on the other side of the ring is gonna be very noticeable. I think this is too many people. They should have cut 3 of these teams and made it 3 teams, triple threat, like they did with the one where the Hardys came back. Like that's a good amount of people for this.
That was 4.
Was it 4? It wasn't 3? Shit. Well, then there you go. There's my memory.
Yeah.
Well, then that was also one too many teams.
Yeah, I don't like these. I don't like ladder stuff at Mania. If there's no point, it's always just trying to go, hey, yeah, remember Edge and Christian and all that? Yeah. Or remember Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon? Yeah, don't just do it for doing it. Or, oh, we need multiple people involved in something. Let's put them in the most dangerous match possible. Let's set it up so everyone has to do really stupid stunts for no good reason.
I don't know.
Great. Cool. Let's get people hurt.
I disagree because it's Mania. This is when you want that stuff personally. This is when it's like, we're going to up the game.
There's nothing here.
I don't know.
New Catch Republic isn't going to fucking win, or no. If they do, no one's going to care.
I don't know.
Like Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, like this isn't a big deal.
All right. I mean, I get what you're saying. I think that they've made an entertaining story. So this, I think, ties into our connected universe that we were talking about with, like, we've got R-Truth being involved with this Judgment Day story. We've got Priest and Finn, Priest having the briefcase that he may or may not use at some point over the course of the weekend. There's a lot of speculation online, and some of it I think is a stretch, but sometimes I watch stuff and I go, yeah, maybe, where Finn is actually, like, working against Priest behind his back. And so I get what you're saying about maybe this is a nobody cares thing, but it also might be a setup for another story, which is kind of a bummer because then it does make the tag team titles, which should be prestigious and interesting, it does make them an accessory to a greater story. But I don't know. I think this. Yeah,
because why couldn't a tag team match be exciting and good between the top 2 tag teams?
Yeah, no, this is an example of, like, Mania has gotten too big for wrestling, which we've talked about, where it's like there's too much talent and they want everybody on the card. And I would argue that, like, is this an example of the benefit of having 2 tag titles versus just 1? Because then you at least have 4 tag teams that can all have a Mania.
No. I just think why are you not doing tag team wrestling for the tag team championships?
Yeah. All right.
Because for the most part, a lot of what's on the line is, hey, these are the 2 best people involved for a title, and they're just going to straight up have a match, and that's enough. We don't have a lot of, I mean, it's a scaled back. There is no Hell in the Cell this year at Mania. Yeah. Thank goodness. An attack. There's no cages. There's all kinds of stuff that they've scaled back on and just putting wrestling first.
Okay. Can I pitch? I'm sorry. Finish your thought. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, what if this match was for the number one contendership for a shot at night 2? What if it was one of those sort of things?
So the Tamina and all that one?
That one with the ladies.
Yeah, because I don't know. I wouldn't do a ladder.
Right.
You could do a gauntlet. I think you could do a gauntlet match, and then that would be really, really exciting because then they're seeing people wrestle, trying to stand the test of time, and can they make it? And they've gone through insurmountable odds. Right. So you had to wrestle a whole shit ton on night 1.
Right.
Now on night 2, do they have anything left in the tank to go up against the champs?
That sort of is almost a little like a King of the Ring-ish kind of stuff to that. But I get your points, and I understand, and they're very fair, and they are very valid. But I am still excited for this match. I think because I like a lot of the people in it. I do like a ladder match. Maybe you've convinced me that it is kind of a bummer that it is the tag championship versus just like a singles or something like that. But I don't know. I'm excited for it because I do miss when Money in the Bank was at Mania, and this has that feel for me personally. But I get your points. They're fair.
Well, we have 12 people that can get injured. How many do you say get injured from this match? And who wins?
Well, I feel like it's got to be Gargano or Ciampa who gets injured because they're the accident. They're like the ones who are a little bit insane and who are, they're going to get injured, both of them simultaneously. Or Finn. No, Finn.
Finn
I forgot.
Is very injury
What
prone.
am I talking about? Finn's going to throw a shoulder out. I think that Miz Judgment Day either retains or Miz and R-Truth, or I know that you were joked about New Catch Republic. I actually think they could be like the underdogs who end up winning and shocking everybody because I think that Triple H fucking loves them, specifically Pete Dunne.
The potential winners in this, and I hate doing that. I think the upset winner where no one expects it to me is Waller in theory.
Right. Well, yeah. Okay.
To give them something.
Right. That's true.
But if it's not Awesome Truth, I think everybody then says, well, fuck you. This was a huge waste of my time. Right. They don't want to see anybody else. Like even New Day, it's like, yeah, it's only 2 of you and you don't really do the antics as much anymore.
Right.
It's not as
I haven't
fun.
seen a pancake in years.
You know, like if Big E had come out and he's in their corner, then people would be like, all right, okay. Well,
right.
I'll go for this. But yeah. And then next up, that's what you were alluding to before, Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship.
I think this is a prime candidate for show stealing, weekend stealing match. I think these guys are both so good at telling a story from bell to bell. These are both guys too who, in my opinion, they have that it quality where it seems like they have chemistry with everybody. You know, some wrestlers, some matchups just don't quite work, but Gunther seems to work with everybody. And I think Sami seems to work with everybody. So I only hope that those two superpowers combined means that they have even better chemistry with one another. And I actually think that, and maybe this is me being a naive fucking mark, but I feel like they could be like, yeah, you know what, Sami, like we're not giving you the fucking world title anytime soon. This is your consolation prize for the Roman thing not working and, you know, all of these other stories that you had going great and them not coming out in your favor. And also Gunther is going to be moving on to the world title. So like
Do you perceive the thing with Roman not working?
No. Meaning, you know what I mean? It worked very well, but he didn't end up being a champion, meaning he didn't end up as the guy. He ended up in the role, in the top spots, one of the 2 top spots, but he ended up as the champion. And this is, hey,
I can't see Sami dethroning Gunther. I really can't.
Well, like I said, it's probably me just being a mark and wanting something interesting and whatnot. But not that if I think Gunther wins, it's not interesting, because I also think this match can go either way. And I'm like, yeah, I support that decision.
Yeah, I think Sammy will come close and the crowd will love it and want him to win, and he won't come away with it.
Right.
But I think it's going to be fucking great. And this will finally play to Gunther's strengths at Mania to showcase him one-on-one. And it'll be undeniable. Even if you could put this in the worst spot possible, right? Where something just happened. You could put this on post Rock and the tag match with Rock, Reigns, Rhodes, and Rollins, and he'll win everybody 100%. Over halfway through the match.
And Sammy's,
they'll be like, "Hey, we're tired. We're a little out of it." And it's still,
and Sammy's such a great underdog.
Potential opener for night 2 would be my guess. Like maybe this is how you start.
No, I think that night 2 will open with Seth versus Drew. That's my guess. I think that'll be the beginning of night 2, because they've done that recently where if there's both tag titles or both singles titles are online on one night of a pay-per-view, they bookend with them. Not that I think they should, but I do think this should. Right. I think this probably should open the show because it'll. But
then again, crazy. This is a different guy putting together 100%. The whole show.
It's the McMahonless Mania.
So we're so used to this is how it goes.
Right.
Not this year. That's what's to me is also going to keep me interested in watching 2 nights of it, and why I think we're also going to be doing a recap than when we normally wouldn't of next week, because it's also how was this show different from all the other WrestleManias?
Was it noticeable?
Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship. This is our celebrity.
I think this is fun. I love Kevin Owens. Orton's doing really fun stuff. I kind of still feel like Logan Paul squeezes this one out and retains and becomes stage champion.
He's a squeezer?
Yeah. He's going to squeeze it.
This is going to be the ultimate test of Logan Paul's timing.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Because a lot of stuff he's done really well and really good and plays to the crowd and all the other elements. But Orton, I don't think you get any better timing from any wrestler than Orton.
Yeah. Well, and Kevin Owens might not be far behind him, though, because Kevin's also that guy. But doesn't have the longevity. Doesn't have the longevity that Orton does. But yeah.
I think Orton is in another class when it comes to all that stuff. His crispness, his everything he does. Kevin Owens can fill the time and do whatever it is that needs to be done. Right. But he's not as calculated as Orton.
Okay.
I don't think that's his style.
Right.
Plus, when you're dealing with crazy RKOs and weird situations, that's not Kevin Owens' bag. Throws people on an apron, for fuck's sake. Is he going to do that to Logan Paul, you think? Is Logan Paul going to be like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Throw my back on an apron.
I mean, after the Elimination Chamber performance, I'm actually... I think I'm more excited for this match than I would have been had I not seen the way they treated Logan at where they just beat the fucking shit out of him. Like, he got no offense in. I think he got one offensive maneuver in during the match, and then the knuckles spot at the end. But for the most part, they just beat the shit out of him for his entire time. And then, I think this could be an example of, like, that's his character. He's, he's going to pull it out. He's going to be a little shifty. It's a 3-way, so... doing another way WWE is, if you can't disqualify one person and leave 2, that means there's going to be no rules, which means that the brass knuckles are going to be at play and all of that nonsense. So yeah, I think it'll be fun though. I think this will be a very entertaining match. I don't really care who wins. I'm not invested in this championship for Logan to lose it or for KO to win it or Randy to get, like, I think this is just going to be an entertaining match for the people. Especially if
I think
KO and Randy team up and beat the shit out of Logan Paul for quite a while.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential to be really, really solid. And I do think Orton takes it, though.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll...
Yeah, you think so?
This will give Logan a reason to be mad.
Okay, interesting.
And then maybe go one-on-one with Orton to try and get it back or something like that. So,
and does Logan take the pin, though? Yeah. Okay. All right.
When it's Orton?
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
Next up, Io Sky versus Bailey for the WWE Women's Championship.
Man, I wish I was more invested in this. This is straight from Royal Rumble. This is the Royal Rumble winners WrestleMania moment. And I really like Io Sky and I like Bailey a lot. I think it'll be a fine match, but I haven't bought the drama, I haven't bought the story they've told, haven't been super invested. I think they're all good, but I unfortunately think when the other women's match on the card is Ripley Lynch, I think this one, unfortunately, is going to be compared. It's just the nature of the beast. And I'm not sure. I'm hoping to be surprised.
I have not seen a scrap of this since the Royal Rumble press conference of Bailey acting kind of face-ish.
Right. Yep.
And seeing that what was, I'm assuming, a turn for her.
Yep.
And so while I'm not the biggest Bailey fan and I'm kind of impartial to Io Sky, it's all new to me. So it can only impress, really.
I will say I like that it's these two. Like, that's actually, this feels like maybe I'm proving my own point as part of the problem, where it's like I'm saying, oh, Rhea and Becky feel like stars. But yeah, I've also been saying for years, we need to make some new stars. We need to. And so I think this is nice that it's these two in this specific spotlight for a title at Mania.
I assume Bailey loses.
I don't know. I think, you think so?
Because I assume it's Bailey going like, I'm fine. If there is any sort of back and forth creatively, that it's like, no, we got to keep pushing Io.
Interesting.
Io's got to be the one. So if Io beats you,
interesting.
Damage control, that's a rift, and then you're out on your own. But Io's keeps getting elevated and keeps moving forward.
Interesting take. This feels to me like one of the feel good ones where it's like the fans have gotten behind Bailey. She won the Rumble. It kind of feels to me like she goes on and wins it, and then whatever the next
wins it.
Yeah, that's not what I said.
For Tamina.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, you made up a thing that I said earlier that I didn't say.
Must be the connection.
In the chat, Mickey Bell says, I can see Sammy win the Intercontinental title and KO wins the US title. Oh.
That'd be a fun. I'd like to see them cheers their titles at the end of the night. Okay, wait, look at us. Look at us. Who'd have thought? I mean, they left last WrestleMania as tag champs. Both winning a title, and that would be fun if this year they won both they both the mid cards, and then if next year somehow they were facing each other for a world title, that would be really nice long-term storytelling. They could play those packages. I don't know what title that would be or why, but you
can make one.
Yeah, we could just make a new title.
The Canadian World Championship.
Oh shit, there we go. Well, it wouldn't be the World Championship. The Canadian World It's not the United States World Championship. It's the U.S. title, United States Championship.
Do you think that has to matter anymore? No.
All right, that's fair.
Every company has a world championship.
That's fair.
Next up, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship.
Yeah, I mean, this will be exciting. I think Rhea's on fire right now. I think she's firing all cylinders. She's found such a great rhythm and momentum, and while I love Becky, I don't think she's the best wrestler I've ever seen, but she makes me believe. She's a great underdog. She's smaller. At least she looks like she's in a fight sometimes. I think her strikes are the worst parts about her. I like it when she's wrestling and grappling and doing moves. Her strikes always seem a little bit more like they don't connect, but I think they're going to put on a fucking great show.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is going to be really solid. I love Mommy versus the Man.
That's fun. Yep.
Dominic's going to be at play during this match. Right. This is where you're saving him.
Right.
So, he's going to get booed, but I think for the most part, when this is going to happen in front of the crowd, I think Rhea's going to get largely cheered again.
But wait a minute. I could be wrong, but I think we're missing a match at Mania. I think that on SmackDown, unless it was just announced for like this upcoming week, maybe it's going to happen like this SmackDown, but I think it's Escobar and Dom versus Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. I think that match is happening.
Okay, well, we didn't really miss anything.
Well,
right. Dragon Lee, the very guy who was unmasked at the end of AEW and then disgraced and then shows up, hey, he's on WWE now. Who cares? I mean,
he's got a really cool entrance.
Sure.
Really cool entrance with the big LED wall and the dragon that blows the smoke and it comes out from under it. It looks real cool. I don't know about when the bell rings whether I give a shit, but that fucking entrance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Good for those guys being on the card, I guess, but seemingly low stakes.
Well, it also seems like it's a weird thing for Dom to be doing that's like unassociated with Judgment Day. Everybody else in Judgment Day has something, and it seems like he should just be there with Rhea. So I think that's, whether or not that actually happens at Mania.
But he's going to be there for that too.
Yeah.
For sure. Whether he gets tossed out or Becky beats the shit out of him, I don't know. But this, it's going to be great. And I think Rhea retains again.
I do too.
Because that's the thing I can tell about Triple H at this point is establishing the long-term champions, the NWA style, the old school style of they're going to rack up wins, and he's going to make matches that seemingly someone can take it. And yes, I could see at the end of the day, if Becky wins, it makes 100%. Sense.
And it's the story they've told thus far. This feels like Cody last year, Mania, but he didn't win. Do you know what I mean? Like it has that same kind of feeling.
But yeah, I think Rhea takes it. And keeps dominating.
I agree. I wouldn't.
Next
I was
step,
gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if, not that I think they're gonna put a title on it right away, but I could see them alluding to Rhea versus Jade at some point because they love putting, big athletic, behemoths next to one another and be like, "Whoa, what if you guys
meat slapping meat?" Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship with CM Punk on commentary.
There's so many factors here. Seth potentially being beat the shit from the night prior. Punk on commentary acting as a distraction to the hypocritical Drew McIntyre. The fact that Priest has a briefcase lingering, and I do feel like this is more his space than the other one. There are a lot of things at play here. I know that you don't like Seth, but I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I can do without Waluigi. In the segments I've been seeing recently, the laughter has gone away.
He's not doing the bit,
and he's just been dressing eccentric, but being a paranoid, weird person. I'm fine with that. That's watchable. The I'm crazy for no good reason. Can't deal with it.
Did you watch the Punk and him segment? Did you watch the three of them? The Punk, Seth. Oh God, that was fun.
Yeah, it was great. He didn't laugh.
And
there's nothing to laugh
they made
about.
fun of his laugh to the point where literally like they were mocking his cackles.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid pandemic choices. I'm done with it. And thankfully, it seems to be evolving, and I think maybe it is everyone saying, or Triple H, or him maybe coming to the realization, like when it comes to Rock and all this stuff, like it doesn't work.
Right.
It's a fun little thing, but in the long run, it's not going to work for you. I know people love it, but I think Drew takes this. There is no Priest element in it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
No, because it doesn't fit.
Right. Well,
it doesn't. But to me, it doesn't fit here at all because it's Drew. It's all about Drew.
Right. Well, what about? So, do you think this sets up Punk Drew for that world title? Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Okay.
That it's there's still also Punk and Seth to be had, but it is a stare down amongst all. It is Drew having his moment, and this is where you can have a true bad guy in all of this win and gloat, because we're gonna have The Rock and Roman winning and gloating, and while we'll hate it, it's still like, yeah, but the good guys are gonna come out the next night and it's gonna be okay. And then there's other matches where you go, yeah, it's kind of tweeners. Like, hey, people like Io Sky. Some, people like Bailey. It's, it's the mixed bag where it's like, we know they're supposed to be bad. We know Rhea's supposed to be bad, but we like her.
Yeah.
Nobody likes Drew. They love to hate
Mickey's
him.
in the chat. Be careful what you say.
Well, he failed him at the UK show.
That's true.
So I look at it as you're establishing a big time heel. You're establishing sympathy for Rollins because he went through a lot and couldn't get it done.
Right.
He's the only guy who's held the Saudi belt. So if you want to further it along, you need the next guy to help solidify it. That's Drew. Right. You can rub it in Punk's face. You have something down the line.
Right.
Like there's so much where it's all about Drew and his arrogance and being a dick.
It also it could prove him losing, by the way, Seth could also further position him as this great babyface because the whole story and the buildup is nothing is more important than taking the bloodline down. Like that's even more important than my title is taking the bloodline down. That's the most important thing. And Drew says, well, that's a dumb way to be. Worry about me, not them. And if Drew is right and he gets his ass beat on Saturday, on Sunday he loses that title, but then he still helps take the bloodline down on Cody or whatever, then it's he can come out on Monday or whatever fucking show, because I don't know which belt is for which show. He can come out on whatever show he's supposed to be on.
That's the Monday
great.
belt.
So Seth, oh yeah, that's right, Monday Night Rollins, right. He can come out and be like, you know what? Maybe Drew was right, but I said the most important thing was the bloodline and blah, 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 and we did that or whatever. And that could just solidify him as this, like, another pure Cody level babyface, where it's like, this guy, we're going to love him because, well, we're not all going to love him, but, we're mostly going to love him because he makes good guy decisions.
And that's also with the sympathy of he'll be hurt. Right. He'll have tried his hardest to overcome the odds, but, couldn't get it done. But I think it's about solidifying Drew.
I could see that.
And he's got so many clearance books to sell that didn't sell during the pandemic.
God, those poor books. So you don't think there's any priest element? You don't think there's any briefcase?
Because he's not at that level.
I know, but...
And it doesn't feel like to do a shot with those three key players involved, with Punk, Rollins, and McIntyre.
Seems like you're...
To throw Priest in and go like, oh, look, it's shocking. Look, he came in and took it away from whoever. Like, no, you're undercutting all three of them and what you've built to have him show up and do that. I could see, if anything, maybe Judgment Day loses in the
tag titles.
Fucking everyone gets injured ladder match. And then he goes like, no, we're cashing in right now and we're getting him back. Right. If you want to do a shocking thing with the Money in the Bank briefcase, you do that.
Oh, that's interesting. I saw this theory I alluded to earlier that somebody extrapolated on, which it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes I just love wrestling fans. We're just the fucking weirdest, most conspiracy theory people. So they're saying that when Priest won the Money in the Bank, okay, it was the classic Money in the Bank briefcase, the green one. And then they did this whole thing where Damian had his own briefcase made that says "Send Your Money in the Bank" on it. And they had Finn Balor open and then take the contract out of the one and put it in Priest's, right? And there are people who were like, oh, that wasn't the real contract. He destroyed it. And people like, so what's going to happen is Priest is going to cash in, but then the ref is going to be open it and be like, for the first time ever, because by the way, no ref has ever opened to make sure the contract is in there. But for the first time ever, he's going to open it and the ref's going to go like, this isn't the real contract or this isn't whatever. And then Finn rather is going to like use the real official briefcase and then he's going to cash in. And I'm like, this is unhinged. I love it. It's absurd, but I love it.
The briefcase is the contract. And also, just because someone else has it doesn't mean they can use it.
Right. Your name is supposed to be on that piece of paper.
Yeah. But it's still like, no, you didn't win that match to have it. You didn't put it on the line and some stupid.
It's interesting. I don't dislike showing. I don't dislike cashing in for the tag titles to set that precedence of like, hey, we're a tag team. I think that if it was a different two people, that might be the thing that they do. If it was like, that's a story you could tell with a Jey Uso. If it's like, oh, Jey had won the contract and we don't really now have a spot for him as the title, and he can tell the story about like, we're day one. We've been tag team day one. This is the most important thing to us, is being a tag team, being the top of the tag division ish. I could see that story being told with him. I don't know that I could see it with Damian and Finn, but
I could see it as a scramble of, hey, we're not going to lose this. We have it back. Ooh. But ultimately, I still see the thing with him and Cody happening with the Money in the Bank.
What they could do is they could have Finn be the one who urges him, like, come on, use your contract for us, and then maybe they lose it or whatever. Yeah.
I don't want.
Yeah, exactly. So you think that?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you think he's got
so manly.
Cody in his future, Damian Priest? He's only got 3 months to cash that in before the next Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think I've said what I think that'll be on the show,
Backlash.
right?
No, I don't. That he loses?
That that he's trying to cash in on Cody left and right, because we'll get to the outcome of what we all presume that match will be, that Cody is champ and Priest is trying to be sneaky and do it in moments where Cody's weak. And Cody eventually says, like,
just fucking do it.
Be a man, challenge me one-on-one, like, set a date. Don't be sneaky. Like, if you're going to be a champion, like, rise to the occasion like I did. Don't be a flash in the pan. And then he coerces Damian Priest to set a date where there's a straight up one-on-one match. And the rest of the Judgment Day is like, what are you doing? You have the advantage. And he's like, shut up. It causes more strife. And he doesn't win that match, loses the opportunity, but makes Priest still look pretty good, makes him look honorable.
Right, yeah.
And he gets bested by the champ, but it's character building and causes strife for the group.
All right. Yeah, I can see that happening. That's a nice, that plays out well.
And then we have our main event. If you're in LA last year, I don't think it got put any better than by my friend Steve Venoni. When it was all over, when Cody lost and Roseka looked, he said, I looked at Shane and I looked at me, and he said, our jaws were dropped. Like, we actually sat there and went like,
yep.
And Steve Venoni says, I don't care if Cody wins it next year. I'm here now.
Right.
It's a very valid point for when you go, but the story could go on and it could be really big and huge. I don't give a shit, but I'm here right now in this moment. And he's not wrong, because I'm a little sour on it, because I'd like to have been there for the moment and see my nephew, who was into Cody Rhodes for that period of time, who now doesn't care about wrestling again. He's totally out because he saw him lose. It's Roman versus Cody, number 2, twice in a lifetime.
Last time ever. Because, by the way,
the WWE Universal
they just started
Championship.
throwing that out there. If you lose, you can never challenge for this title against Roman Reigns again.
Well, that's Rock.
Yeah,
Rock's saying that.
True. He's the boss now. The
final boss.
No, that's not true. It's Samoa Joe. It's on his T-shirt.
Okay, well, he's close.
How many final bosses are there?
A lot. It's a Capcom game, so
all right, that's fair.
Keeps changing. Cody wins.
Cody the Bloodlines rules. All the Bloodline does everything they can. Cody still pulls it out somehow. Whether or not the Bloodline rules match means that Seth and Jay, I do think it's one of those things where it's like, it's a win-win for this instance, where I don't think that if Seth and Jay and fucking maybe KO, I don't know, whoever the fuck else they decide to pull out and help, if they all help and Cody wins, it's still like, yeah, that's good. Good guys did good things. They took down the Bloodline. But also, if Cody does it all by himself, hey, I did it all, but I still did it and overcame. Like, you can have it both ways, and neither one of them diminishes the victory for Cody.
But there's a way to do it where you don't diminish it, where you have everybody help. So if Solo's interfering, if Rock is interfering, Jimmy's interfering, if Heyman burns a calorie and interferes, that everybody that does it, none of the good guys ever touch Roman. They never distract Roman. They never pull him off. They never grab his foot. They never do anything to directly affect the match. And I feel like Cody's old schoolness also comes into play here, where he's like, that can't be a part of it. They can't do it because then it fucks it up. And then Roman's got a case of, yeah, well, you couldn't do it without. It's all about them stopping the outside interference of it all.
Keeping it fair.
So Cody and Roman can continue to have their one-on-one match.
Yeah. Yep.
Then you can have whatever else, and it all ends and dissipates before the final moments of the match.
Yeah. They get
So
everybody.
it's not simultaneous.
Nope.
All attention can go straight back to the match and see Cody get the victory.
I could see the old school, not all, but a lot of the baby faces in the locker room, like coming out and like celebrating Cody and doing like one of those old school.
Oh, like Tatanka and Sparkplug Holly.
100%.
And
Yeah.
those same guys from WrestleMania
Yes,
10.
100%. All
putting
this,
Cody on the shoulders.
Yep, Cody on the shoulders. I could totally see them doing that with this. Yeah.
With all of the, like with WrestleMania 10,
Mm-hmm.
that happened. Victory on the shoulders of Bret Hart. Him there. 20, we had the two champions come out. Who shall not be named, and Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, okay. Right.
With the embrace
Right,
and the
yep.
and the confetti. So there was a like hero's victory.
Right. What was 30?
30 is Daniel Bryan, so
Oh.
it was just this ultimate like.
WrestleMania.
But it wasn't a locker room. It wasn't anybody else
because it was the people. The people were the locker room because he was the people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the suckers who paid for this fake
The
shit.
yes movement.
So yes, I can potentially see this 40 where they go, all right, well, we needed another round number again of footage we can show because we can't show all these other ones. We can show one of them right now.
Right. Yeah. I could see that. Everybody with Cody on their shoulders and him holding the title, and then Rock being like,
yeah.
That's it. Seth's title doesn't exist anymore. It's like, he doesn't even have it. Drew has it. I don't care. I said it was going away and it's gone. Yeah, I agree. I think that Cody wins this one, but I said the same thing last year.
It's about building. Cody said it himself. It's all about the chase.
Yeah.
That's his father's influence. I think he's right. I think Triple H is also looking to solidify. I've got a bad guy. I got Roman. Roman's set.
You're right.
That's always all good. Gunther's on the way. McIntyre's about to be made again in a more solid way. Rhea's been made.
Yep.
Like he's got a lot of people that he's really setting in for some longevity for the next, ideally 3 years.
Sure.
With contracts and injuries and families and life. Like I think you can look at many of your top players and go like, I can get 3 years out of them. Right. Ideally more. Right. But Cody's one of those guys where it's like, now I need the uber baby face.
Yeah.
And he's the guy.
Yeah. I support all of that. I look forward to next week when we can see how wrong we've been or how right we were. Once again, we will be opening up the live stream publicly to not just the patrons, but to everybody next week. Monday, April, I keep forgetting the date, April 8th. Keep your eye on the Discord for the exact time. It'll probably be noon to 2-ish on the East Coast, assuming that, you don't have work. Because why would you? You can watch it at work. Watch it on your phone.
You can put it on during work.
Your boss don't care.
It's not unlike listening to music.
But we have a championship of our own here on the Pro Wrestling Palskis program, and it is about time to decide our April PWP World Champ. Our current champ, Andrea Beeler, a.k.a. Pollen Hate, is a record-holding 6-time champion. She also has the record for longest reign at 2 months, although she's only 1 month into this reign. Will she defend?
You could say she's the one.
She is the one. If you're not sure what this is, well, then you got to become a championship level Palski over on the Patreon. Without further ado, Scott Narver.
No more do.
No more do. Here it is. By the way, Andrea Beeler picked a fantastic watch-along match for us this month.
She did.
So if you're not getting in on the watch-alongs, you're missing out. Alrighty. There's kind of two there. left or right. Pick left or right. I'm doing my left or right, not yours.
Left.
All right, so my left is this one that's hanging here. Great. So that was my left. You guys all saw it. All righty.
Straight up.
Straight up. Now tell me, do you really want to love me forever? And new PWP World Champion, Strong Style. Strong Style, our one of our newer patrons, coming in with his first, her, I'm not sure. Did we figure out who this was again?
Thems?
Oh, no, that's right. This was in the Discord, formerly Witcher in Training. I forget what their... this is Gaines. This is Gaines.
Yeah.
Strong Style is Gaines. There it is. See, we put it together. Strong Style, congrats on your victory.
Congrats on getting the pinfall in a battle royal.
Yep. Sound designs and things. Keep your eye out on your email. We'll let you know how to claim your winnings and also how to let us know what you'd like us to watch for our April Championship Watch Along Wednesday. Thanks to everybody who continues to show your support for the program over on the Patreon. We literally could not do the show if you guys weren't patrons. So if you're listening to this and you've never checked it out, please consider heading on over to patreon.com/PWPalskis and showing your support today. And depending on what tier you're at, maybe you could become PWP World Champion and have your name in the record books. Pretty soon we'll have a PWP encyclopedia.
That'd be very exciting.
Yeah, it'll be a few pages long. Everybody gets their own full page spread or two spread. Pull out just because we need to.
It'll be a zine.
We need to fill this shit out. All right, we have to go take a hotline call or two. Thank you guys.
Sora Sushi Pants has got to get out of this room. She's
Seriously
freaking out. She can't handle the new champ.
Thanks for tuning in to the live feed, live viewers. Scott, say goodbye to them.
Bye, live feed. See you next week, post Mania.
747-666-5606. That is the number to the Pro Wrestling Palskis hotline, or you can send a voice memo to hotline@pwpalskis.com. Scott Narver, would you like to see what we got in the hotline today?
Yes, I do.
Hey Scott, hey Jake, this is Gilbert up in the Bay Area, aka Goliathon, aka Batal Anerus, and I had a question about factions. I might have asked something similar before, because I think factions are a good idea, because I think it can make a rivalry in WWE seem a little less monotonous, because instead of seeing Cody having to fight Jimmy and having to fight Solo, or having to fight Roman, or having to fight The Rock, you can have Cody's faction also face these other people for whatever reason, and you can have them all face each other, and that way you'll get a bunch of different matches out of it if they're just, more people for the heels to fight instead of just ganging up on one person. And babyface factions seem like they're really popular when they happen, because you have D-Generation X and the Shield and the New Day. I mean, they started out as heel factions, but when they turned babyface, they got their popularity was just through the roof, or to the moon, as they say. So why do you think that babyface factions are relatively rare in wrestling these days, or at least in WWE? And this is all just to say that I want Seth, Cody, and Jay to form a faction to go up against the Bloodline, and theirs is called the Storyline. That's really all I want. I mean, But you guys have a good week. Bye.
A long journey from Gil just to get Storyline out there, but I respect it. I respect the hustle.
I like it too. We haven't heard from Gil for a while. No, it's good to hear that. It was a solid joke.
So why aren't babyface factions popular? I'm going to argue that they are, because there's so many goddamn factions right now, and they all are feuding with another faction, and one of them has to be a babyface, right?
Name all the babyface factions in WWE.
NWO. No, I'm sorry, LWO. Sorry. Time Machine. LWO.
They're good guys.
Hurt Business. Yeah, against the Legado de Fantasma, who are the bad guys. Hurt Business, or not the Hurt Business, whatever. They're not called that.
It's not the Hurt
Street
Business.
Profits and No, yeah, Street Profits and Lashley
Can't be a
up
faction if you don't have a name.
Karrion Kross's group, not the end of day, the final judgment
guys.
day, the final. No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. The Street Profits and Lashley are,
but they're not a faction.
These guys, I'm doing. What do you mean they're not a faction?
If you don't have a name, you're not a faction.
They probably have one. I probably just don't know it.
You can't just be dudes hanging around.
Maybe they're just called the Street Profits now. Really? Is that what makes a faction the name?
Doesn't it? Name a famous faction where it was just a bunch of guys hanging around.
Edge, Christian, and Rhino.
That wasn't a faction.
Yeah, they were.
No, they weren't.
He helped them. No? Who was it?
Like
who helped during that three-way? Maybe it was Elite. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, he helped a couple of times, and it's known backstage. It's like, yeah, they hung out and they're friends, but they weren't a faction.
A faction of 3 people who didn't have a name.
That didn't have a name.
I mean, that's just bad branding. Like, yeah, I guess they're gonna have a name because you want to sell a T-shirt, right?
Because it's a faction.
Right,
you can't go. The faction of Paul Orndorff and Big John Studd and Andre the Giant and King Kong Bunny. You know that faction?
So, why doesn't the rule apply to tag teams? How come Edge and Christian are just Edge and Christian? Are they technically not a tag team? They don't have a name.
They're a tag team.
Or does it only apply to 3 or more?
They're Edge and Christian. That's their.
All right, got it.
That's their name. Because you can, because it's still, you can say it easily.
Right.
Because they also had one word names.
As far as why there aren't as many babyface factions, I guess to realistically approach the question, I think it's because the babyfaces are better as underdogs, and when there's a bunch of people all beaten up on one guy, we go, "Oh, that poor guy. We want to see him win now." And I think, like, despite the fact that there are still the tweeners, like you mentioned, like Rhea, and even the Bloodline, like this, when he comes out, everybody puts people like the Bloodline. They, there are some people who they have to wait for 17 minutes. They're going to put their finger up in the air. They have to fill that time.
They're just showing Heyman, look what I can do.
It's not the Attitude Era anymore, and so therefore they're just, the like, oh, it's really fun because they're awful to everybody, and we want to be a part of that. That doesn't seem to be the way anymore. Things are a little bit more classic.
I would say the reason what I would speculate, and there's no actual knowledge of inside biz when it comes to this, I would speculate there's not many babyface factions because you sooner want individual babyfaces to break out and potentially be stars. So if you start throwing a bunch of them together, what are they going to do? What are a bunch of baby faces together going to do? If there's not an opposition to go against, that if there's not other heel factions to fight, why are they all hanging around? Are they doing good deeds? Like, we already see a lot of that through WWE television of, hey, look, they went to this town and made sourdough bread for the kids.
Right.
And look, there's even a couple heels amongst them.
Pandemic was a really rough time.
So even they'll show people like that. So I feel like if there's no reason for them to come together, they just all, there's no greater purpose to put them all together. It's easier to throw a bunch of people together to get hated and to get booed because they're doing bad things to good guys individually.
Right.
I imagine it's a lot to maintain if you're like, all right, we're going to take these 4 baby faces. Like if you took Ricochet and I'm trying to think of like other cute young baby faces that are just lone. Right. Like you take Ricochet, take LA Knight, take who else? Give me somebody else here. You're watching the shows.
The mid-card babyface folk, the Sami Zayn.
Yeah, Sami Zayn and I don't know, Jey Uso. You just put them all in a group. It's like,
sure, Chad. Yeah,
right. Okay.
You know what?
What are they gonna do?
I do. I do feel like just because I mentioned Chad Gable, it made me realize it's comedy. When the baby faces get together as a group, it's all like none of these guys are stars right now or like main event stars. They're all very entertaining and people love them. They're fan favorites. Let's let them all be happy.
Yeah,
together.
you can say Alpha Academy is because it's 3 people.
Right. Alpha. Yep. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's a little group, but
right. By the way, they've had 2 names now. By the way, the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. The Pride. That's what they were. That's when it was announced. But I think that's when they were selling them as heels. But then they're like, yeah, we like them, and they're now known as the Suit Profits.
SUIT.
Yes, like because Bobby wears a suit and he got them to wear suits. So now they're Suit Profits, even though they don't wear suits when they wrestle.
That's not good.
That's fucking terrible.
The Suit Profits. Terrible. What would you call them if you had to take? If it's like we can't get rid of profits.
Right. The Bob Profits.
Bob Profits.
The Bob Profits. All one word. Bob Profits. There are a lot of factions I do feel currently, though, to the point where I don't even think I realized how many there were. I was curious. I was like, how many are active right now in WWE? Like 3 or more.
6?
Judgment Day. Okay, let's
6.
see. 6 is what you say. Judgment Day, the Suit Profits, Bloodline, Imperium, Damage Control, LWO, Brawling Brutes. I feel like they're done. I feel like that doesn't count. They're done now because Sheamus is gone. Well, but okay. The OC, Indus Sheer.
What's the OC?
Yeah. The Good Brothers and AJ.
They're still around? Wait, she's in there too?
Yeah.
Why? Isn't that
because they all need it? Because every single faction that is a bunch of dudes has one.
Isn't that going to confuse a bunch of people? That when was it Carl Anderson used to say, "My hot Asian wife," that they're going to go, "Oh, that's her."
Yep. Indus Sheer, who is the Jinder Mahal and the 2 big giant guys who I keep forgetting their names, and then Hit Row. So 9
Hit Row
currently.
Didn't they all get fired?
Yeah, Hit Row. I don't know. Did
Top
they?
Dollar in them?
Maybe they did. All right, so 8. Yeah, that was from like January. Man, I can't find a modern. I don't know how you find the modern list, but okay, yeah. So, but that's still a fucking lot. And actually, that one didn't even have the Phantasmo, the Legado del Phantasmo one, or
they don't
the
have
final.
A name. I don't know.
Or the final Testament, whatever they're called, the Killer Cross one. There's so fucking many goddamn
the
factions.
Book of Tees.
And it also didn't have. We keep thinking of even more. It also didn't have the Alpha Academy.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Which I don't know if they're still going. There's fucking
because
so many.
She's getting booed and it hurts her feelings.
Aww.
Have you heard about that?
I mean, that is mean. You shouldn't really.
Yeah, don't boo wrestlers. Yes. That's not okay.
Yeah,
it's not melodrama.
Oh, y'all. Don't forget the Viking Raiders are also still around-ish.
No, they're not.
What's her face? That's technically there's 3 of them. That's technically
that was a match I saw on Raw. They're like Eric couldn't show up. What?
Right. And they put him in but then they gave Ivar it was like a pretty high profile title opportunity.
It's weird when you try to tell me a Viking can't show up for whatever reason. No.
Right.
No.
Right. So yeah, fun question. Thanks for that.
It made us think about it.
Yeah, I do think that you hit the nail on the head though of they like to make singles babyface stars or just a tag team, and at the end of the day, the factions all seem like factions of convenience when they're baby faces, not as a permanent. This is our gimmick.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Palskis, what's going on? It's Tim Redbeard from Connecticut. Want to wish everyone a happy WrestleMania week. Hope everyone is doing well and gearing up for the big show. I was calling because I was wondering if our fearless or fearful hosts, depending on who you're talking to, could imagine a world in which Cody does not beat Roman. After everything that happens, whether there's all types of crazy appearances in which John Cena or Stone Cold or somebody comes in to sort of level the playing field, and it's just a total clusterfuck with the bloodline rules being that they Rock and Roman win on night one. Can you write the story which Cody doesn't win this year and takes another year? Next Royal Rumble, he comes in at number 1. This is his first year back, 30. Last year, 15. Is it possible? And how would you write it? Triple H is all about the long storytelling. I remember a time in NXT when it was Triple H's show, for essentially, he had Sami Zayn go through 3 titled matches against Neville before he actually won it. I don't think it was over 3 years, but still, is it possible nowadays? Take care. See you at WrestleMania.
Tim Redbeard from Connecticut, asking the impossible question. Can you see a world where Cody loses? Yes, I can see a world where Cody loses. I don't want to, but I can. And what do they do? I don't know. But now you're asking us specifically to book that world. So
you love fantasy booking.
You're forcing us. The reality is if he does lose, it would not be booked for him to then win it next year at May. I wouldn't go year 3. Instead, it would be.
Yeah, that's sad.
Instead, it
you
would
get
be,
screwed out once, and then if it's either the stipulation of, hey, you won the other match, so there is no outside interference, and you lost, or there was outside interference, and you still lost. Like you can't get it done, kid. Sorry,
right.
Go fight for the other title.
Right. Yeah, I think the only world that I see where I also book him losing is to set up him and Rock at Mania. I'm not Mania. SummerSlam. I just said not Mania next year. It's SummerSlam. It's quicker. It's not that far out. It's an immediate dive into the story so that we all just don't go, fuck Cody, fuck this, fuck blah, blah, blah. Because we all might go, all right, well, I still want to see Rock and Cody do a thing. And it would be the only way that I think you would retain some of the people who will be so upset if he loses again.
Yeah, because you're just going to lose viewers. You're just going to lose,
like last year. Yeah,
you're going to lose out on merch. You're just going to lose out on an investment. Ultimately, is what it is at the end of the day. So if they did it, I'm trying to think of who's in the wings. Where Cody was the false protagonist. You thought it was going to be him, but it's really this person. It's not Damian Priest. It's not Gunther. It's not R-Truth. There's
Rock is the only one, and nobody wanted that in the first place.
Well, they didn't want it at the moment.
Right.
They want it.
Right.
But they didn't want it in lieu of Cody.
Right.
So, there's just not. If they do it, which they could, I just think they're doing a giant disservice.
Right. Yeah.
But they retain more things with Roman, sure, but Cody becomes a failure.
Right. You really do damage that character.
Unless Cody then becomes to be a massive heel.
Right.
But Drew's already filling that slot right now with the spurned hero, the spurned guy who's like, I did it for all of you, and that didn't do anything.
Got me nothing.
So if you're doing that with Cody back to back, again, you're in trouble. So they could just make a really bad move and do that. But I see it, but I just see it as a giant blunder. So,
but I said the same thing last year. No way he's losing. If there's no way you'd ruin that character if he loses, and then here we are now. And I would argue the character, like, I will say this. A few months back, I did feel like, yeah, Cody, I care a little bit less about Cody than I did in the build up to WrestleMania, but they've done such a good job at this point now in reinvesting and getting all of the attention back and retelling the story that it's, you can always write something interesting. If you're a good enough writer and they're creative enough, they can always find a way to make people care, right? The problem is that you do that with a few tricks up your sleeve, right? And they're running out of those tricks. They're running out of those angles in a way that will justify us caring again if they last a whole other year with this shit, which, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Tim,
you can't milk another year out of it.
No, it's tough.
Right?
Tim, way to bring the whole thing down and make us all angry about the possibility. No, I'm kidding.
I like that all of his stuff was, a bunch of old guys come out to help out. Like Stone Cold's going to show up and all these other guys that are unadvertised and they'll have to pay way too much money for, that'll overshadow everything.
They'll be like, hey, does Efron still have all that weight from the Iron Claw? Can we put him in some Warrior makeup? Let's get him come out. We'll say he's Warrior.
Yeah. Here, we have a few lines for you from some of his road speeches.
Yeah. Just say a few racial slurs.
Nah, I don't think it was. I think it was only about homosexuality.
Oh, all right. Well,
that's what I'm aware of.
Bigot gonna bigot. Well, anyways, that'll do it. Thanks for all the calls. Once again, if you'd like to call the hotline, 747-666-5606. In fact, next weekend, as you're watching Mania, call up. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll jam pack that Mania special, that Mania recap special, with a bunch of your hotline thoughts. Tell us what you thought of Mania. We're gonna be recording that Monday, so get them in real quick. Get them in, either after
night 1 and night 2 to leave.
Exactly.
Thoughts? Do you have WrestleMania plans?
As of right now, I'm gonna go to Cousin Paul's, and we're just gonna watch there.
What's on the menu?
I don't know. Something easy, something casual.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't ask.
For both nights?
I should probably be a good guest and be like, what should I bring to this thing for us? I'll do it later. I have a couple days still. Yes, both nights.
Okay, you're not going to do the same food on both nights, right?
It might even be literally the same food. We'll just eat what we left over from night 1. It's XL, baby. This is all about XL.
This is why we don't watch Mania together.
The size of my waist.
Food care.
I'm
want to
sure
know
we'll have
everyone's snack situation.
I'm sure we'll have something delightful.
It's at least 5 hours per night.
Oh, it's too long.
You got to.
I did say that. I was like both nights, and it was like, of course. And I was like, all right. Like I want to watch it all with him. I just don't want it to be so long.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years. I also don't want 2 more nights of WrestleMania. This is the last one. No more. Like, I don't think you can top this as far as huge special guest that impacts both things. Like, no more 2 nights.
You think this is the final? Much. You think next year they're actually going to go back to one night? Because I don't think they're ever going back.
No, I don't think they are. But I don't think you can top it.
Right. It's not going to like. Every year they're going to have to,
of 2.
Yeah. Every year they're going to have to figure out something on night 1 affects night 2.
And then it's just going to turn into, you're lucky I'm watching this 2 nights because I did it last year when I went, but in the future, I'm just not going to watch.
Yeah.
I did that a few years ago now where I just picked through one of them and then watched the second night.
Right.
I'm not going to watch 2 nights going forward. There's just no way. I will say
last year for Mania, while I was bummed that I didn't get to watch all of it live because we were traveling. We were literally driving across the country to the aforementioned Cousin Paul's wedding. And I remember catching glimpses of it live, but then like getting to the hotel after I ended up driving and then being able to like fast forward through things. I was like, fuck, this is so nice. But also I do want to participate and be with the people. Like it's such a give and take because that's what makes wrestling great a lot of the times is a social element, but also everybody gets tired. Everybody gets fatigued. It's too long. And I'm on the East Coast, so it's not even like the benefit of being back on the West Coast where it was like, yeah, it starts at 4, which is great. It's a nice, reasonable, it's midday. You can go for a little walk. The sun is still like, I don't know. I feel like it's going to feel even longer.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. It's going to feel even longer this year, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh boy. All right. Well, anyways,
sure.
Once again, get your calls in to the hotline 747-666-5606 or send the voice memos to hotline@pwpalskis.com. Head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/pwpalskis. Support the program. Follow us on all the social medias at pwpalskis. I'm at Jake Lloyd Bacon. He's at Scott Narvis. Check out the shop at pwpalskis.com. There you can snag yourself a ton of fantastic merchandise. We've got hats, we've got mugs, we've got t-shirts, hoodies. Hot Dog Mania is running wild over there. There's a ton of really great designs. Not all the designs are like a super obvious wrestling thing. So if there's sort of person where you're like, well, I want to support the program, but I don't wear a ton of like blatant stuff. Well, we got designs for all sorts of styles and particularities there. And that'll do it. The last thing we have to do, Scott and I, is we have to thank our current Patreon Palskis.
Putting in an order now for a beef cake with scissors in it. Something like that happen.
Okay. All right. Be like a cake that's made of beef.
Yeah.
With a pair of scissors sticking out of it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. Thank you to all of our current Patreon Palskis, the only place where you can get a Retribution name as well as a maximum male model name. Why? Because there's 2 nights of WrestleMania still. Until that shit ends, we're doing this. Alex Pierce, a.k.a. Figs, a.k.a. Zitoys. Alice Vader, a.k.a. Invasion, a.k.a. Yves. Andrea Beeler, a.k.a. Pollen Hate, a.k.a. At You Detest. Curtis Mason, a.k.a. Hurtus, a.k.a. Ouche. Gilbert Short, a.k.a. Goliathon, a.k.a. Batal Underoos. Maslama, a.k.a. Spitz, a.k.a. Jacara Lover. Michael Beltran, a.k.a. Limestone, a.k.a. La Naturel. Miguel Diaz, a.k.a. Bipod, a.k.a. Too Much Husk. Mike Lucas, a.k.a. Hackensack, a.k.a. Luger Testicle. Strong Style, a.k.a. Gaines, also the new PWP champ. Suicide, a.k.a. a.k.a. Tim Bemis, a.k.a. War Trek, a.k.a. Tussle Quest. Tim Redbeard, a.k.a. Blood Fuzz, a.k.a. Blue de Fuse. Tom Hader, a.k.a. Cupid, a.k.a. Cherub. And Tony Griggs, a.k.a. Big Griggs, a.k.a. Grand Grisois.
Thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support of the program. We sincerely appreciate you. Have a fantastic Mania weekend, regardless of how fucking long it will be. Hope you hang out with some friends. Hope all your favorites win and everybody you hate loses. And hope all your storyline dreams come true. Thanks for hanging out with us. Always a blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hey, thanks for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. If you're enjoying this show, check out DragonWagonShop.com and get yourself some sweet merch while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. That's DragonWagonShop.com.
It's Dragon Wagon.